Hello, beautiful, light-filled souls. Trisha Barker here. Thanks to those of you who signed up for a reading or met me in spiritual community. It's such a joy to commune and connect and meditate with those, even once or twice, who are on a spiritual journey. It has been a great pleasure. And I just want to affirm that sometimes the spiritual journey is lonely. And I certainly know this, having had a great awakening experience in 94. I've been waiting for the world to catch up for some time, and it's been really exciting the last 10 years to see more attention paid to the spiritual journey of individuals and more opportunities for spiritual community. So I want to say first that not everyone is receptive and not everyone is energetically sensitive. That may not be their path, and it might not ever happen for them. That if you are energetically sensitive to crowds and to people and to nature, you might feel different. You might feel as if you wish other people could understand what it is you see, how you see things behind the scenes, how you know what's going on at this energetic level, or how sometimes you pick up on the unconsciousness of other people and want to help them out in some way. The thing is it your sensitivity can be odd or strange to some people. The fact that I can hear and see the spirits of trees, that I can hear from certain parts of nature, that I can hear from spirit, that I can hear from the deceased. This may be odd to a lot of people, and that's understandable, but I think there's enough people talking about this and enough people talking about how when love is the only thing that matters, and love is an energy, that when someone dies, a pet, a loved one, you're still going to be connected at an energetic level through this love. And even people who are deeply religious, when they die, sometimes they come through in readings to their loved ones because they simply want to say, I'm here and I've come out of this realm, this paradigm, and here I am in this environment, and it's a little bit different than I imagined, but it is beautiful, and love is all that matters, and I'm here to connect with you at really at that life-giving solar plexus creative level, just the center of one's being. A lot of times there's this affirmation of I want you to do well in life and to really get it, that love is all that matters. So near-death experiencers bring back that message. So do loved ones often from the other side. There's a myriad of things that might be said from loved ones on the other side, and they often retain some of their personality so that their loved one recognizes them, but they also go through a transformation and they become different. So all of these topics are very off-putting to some people, and there is a desire for some people to shut down near-death experiencers, to find a way, or people on a spiritual path, to discredit them. And so I'd like to address that in this video. So first of all, if you are energetically sensitive, if you are sensitive to nature, to people, to energy, protect that and love that within yourself, and seek out others who can affirm your intuitions, because it is such a joy to meet others who can say, yeah, I get that too, or yes, I understand what is going on, and I too am intuiting this. That these types of friendships and connections are rare and wonderful and beautiful, and treasure them. Now, we all have our shadow sides, of course, and I don't know if this is my shadow side or naivete, but when I first started talking and I began speaking publicly when I survived Beyond and Back, that series came out, I had been going to IANS groups in Dallas, Fort Worth, and never before Dr. Jan Holden interviewed me, and never before had I thought about veridical perception, had I thought about verifiable details. I just had my experience, and I knew I had a mission to teach, and I went out and did that. And that was, when you have a mission from God, you're not thinking about anything other than, well, what is spirit going to do to help me as a teacher? How am I meant to live out this mission from heaven? Who are these souls who are meant to connect with me in a classroom, and how can I help them, and how will I help them, and will God work through me? Will the angels work through me? I mean, that was what I actually thought when I went into classrooms is, how can I be of service, and how can spirit work through me in some way for the betterment of the souls of my students. I mean, I was there for their souls. I was there, of course, to make them better writers, more critical thinkers, better researchers, but it did not matter who they were, what their background was, what their beliefs were. Nothing mattered, other than I knew my mission was to meet them and to love each one of them where they are, and to build them up, and to help them see the light in themselves, and to help them have a better idea of what they want from their future, and to go out and spread light in any way that this could be. So whether it was through radiology, whether this is through teaching, whether this is through becoming, what I taught at a high school level, an auto mechanic, and instead of being in a gang, it didn't matter. I just was pushing students towards something better, something more light filled, something that was a joy of theirs. And that's all I thought about when I thought about my near-death experience. I mean, sure, I thought it was strange to have all these synchronicities and this sensitivity, but I just accepted it at 22. I mean, I was different, from that point forward. And that to me was enough verification that I could go from this person who really didn't pick up on a lot of energy and really was pretty material minded, logically minded. And so I understand some of the people who attack me, because maybe my mind before the near-death experience would have been a lot more pedantic and a lot more exacting and judgmental. Now I just like people's stories. I enjoy hearing about their lives. I enjoy hearing about different cultures. I don't have an agenda to change students. My only agenda is to help them get excited about their gifts, to help them get excited about making the world better in some way, and better in a sense of kind. Adding kindness to this world is important. And that's one of the things I saw in the near-death experience, was not to change everyone's belief system into thinking the way I think, but really just to spread love, because love is the thing that calms people down. Kindness and concern is what changes people. So how have I been attacked? Well, recently, and I'll address this, someone gave me a book review and challenged me to respond, and I'm locked out of Amazon. My account was hacked, so I'll just say it in a video. This person said that how in the world would I not mention the song to my neurosurgeon? Well, okay, let's go back in time to the 90s and look at Erica McKenzie's story and others. People were put in psych wards for talking too much about their near-death experience. And so I came out of surgery. So, let's get that into perspective. Was my brain thinking about verifiable details, or, was it just a wash with anesthesia, the morphine that was pumping through my body, and this realization that I'd just been on the other side? So what I said to my surgeon was, I died, right? I died for a couple of minutes. And she said, yeah, we thought we lost you, but you're fine now. You're getting a blood transfusion. You should be feeling better. Your head should feel better. And she gave me this look, and I was intuitive. I could immediately read people at that point. And this look was, don't keep talking about this. And it was clear to me that she didn't want me to say another word about this. Now, why? I don't know, but I dropped it. I got this feeling that she was going to prescribe something for, psychological disorders, that she was looking at me very clearly. And it was a warning saying, stop talking about this. And maybe she felt bad that she had almost lost me on the operating table. And she was really proud of her work. Years later, when I told my story on I Survived, they went back and tried to find Dr. Flan. She had died at that point. And it was only by 2014 when I started talking to IN's researchers that I even thought about verifiable details being important. The candy bar and, the song on the radio and various things like that. The main thing when I left my body that I was interested in were the angels. I mean, that was the reality beyond this reality that made this reality look paltry and almost fake in a way. That the energy of these higher beings made this look like theater. Like there is something much larger going on than this physical realm where we're in. And that was my first realization. I didn't even really care about the physical. And those NDEs where it's all verifiable details, that's great. But kind of boring to just be stuck looking at the physical realm. I mean, what I learned by going into that other realm was what was far more exciting and interesting to my soul. And I looked at the doctors operating on me for a moment, but I wasn't that interested. I was more interested in the angels, and I was more interested in what comes next, what comes next on this soul journey. And it was exciting. It was exciting to leave my body. I'm not as concerned with the physical, and it's not as interesting to me. I really have one foot in this realm and one foot in another realm, and I have to force myself to be in this realm because at times I can be easily 2 feet over there and just forget about this. I mean, there are times when I have used spirituality as escape and gone into meditation for 8 hours and just avoided people. So first of all, to those who have come out and talked publicly or are thinking about it, I just want to say thank you for sharing your sensitivity. Your sensitivity is meant to teach others how to listen more closely to what is behind the veil, what these messages that come to us in dreams, that come to us through the feelings in our hearts, these messages that come to us through images are trying to guide us in some way, and they are here to help us on this journey. So if you like Jungian psychology, maybe you can connect to this in that way. If you enjoy following your dreams, maybe you can look at that. Now, how was a near-death experience different from a dream? Or how is it different from, just anesthesia? Well, I've had other moments in time, where I've had dreams. I've had moments where I have had lucid dreams. It's still not the same as a near-death experience because looking at your body and really being done with the body is a different feeling. There's a total detachment and a total connection to the you that is eternal, the soul, the spirit, the you that goes on. And in that state, you become different. You become all there. When you have a near-death experience, there's a moment in time where this doesn't matter anymore. And that was the most important part to me, everything that happened after I left that hospital room. So have my parents and have other people watch the I Survived show. Yes, when I Survived came out, my mom considered being on it. She considered talking, about the fact that I did ask her about the candy bar, and she said that, my stepdad brought the candy bar in when she and my dad were in a place where they were praying for me and they really felt like I had died. And to me, that's a touching moment because it shows that my biological parents felt the moment I had disconnected from my body. More important than the candy bar, they did consider coming on the show, but ultimately I got a friend who was more at ease talking on camera to show up, but they just cut everyone and they just let me talk because I guess I'm good at talking. And so this is my story. And to people who say that I'm just did this for money, oh my God, I don't make much money from books. So I'm just going to put it out there just the way people put their taxes out there. Let's look at the last 2 quarters. Writers get paid in quarters. And so that's 4 times a year. That's the royalties. The last quarter, I got $0 from my book, from Audible, from everything, 0, because there were charges or they have to hold back a certain amount of books in case some are returned from bookstores. So that's 4 months where I made $0. The next 4 months leading up to this month, I made $400. So that's not even enough to cover my websites, Zoom, Kajabi, all these different websites that I have just to connect with people. And what do I make from YouTube? 50 to 100 every now and then, not that much. So this money doesn't even cover the expenses of talking publicly. So I mostly just do this for love, to spread light, to spread joy, and to teach others that they don't have to suppress their voice even when they are attacked, that you can talk back. Now, some people believe that you should not talk back to detractors, but I'm strong and I can't help it. And I think that there is some value in speaking back to detractors. Now, there's a whole lot more joy in talking to people who feel like long lost brothers and sisters in the light and who really get my journey. I mean, those are the people who connect with me in readings, and those are the people who ultimately I want to reach. And that's what every writer wants to reach, whether they are writing a book like Eat, Pray, Love, or they are writing just a young adult novel. They want to connect with readers who get them, who get their creativity, who get their way of thinking, who really resonate with something on their journey. I love connecting with people who get something about what I'm saying, who understand me on this small level. And please understand that people who write books, every book deal is different. I had an agent, I went through a traditional publisher, and I probably don't have a great deal, and I don't get money from this book. So please wipe that out of your mouth, that in your thought process. I have a full-time job where I teach, and that is still my mission. I've been back and forth, in the last 5 years, because I got this message from God that really I had completed my mission. I had already connected with the students I needed to connect with, and that from this point forward, I can do what I wanted. So I'm exploring, what do I want to do moving forward? If I wanted to, I'm just not driven by money. If I wanted to do something just for money, then I'm married to someone who is a mortgage broker and a realtor who would love it if I got my license and that. But I waffle back and forth. I've considered it. I was like, no one can attack me for making money in that industry, because you're supposed to make money in that industry. It's a straightforward job, but I just can't. I enjoy teaching. I enjoy inspiring others, and I enjoy healing. I enjoy spreading the light, and I enjoy interviewing others. So it was really a mistake for me to step back because of all the attack and just all the competition and ridiculousness around being out there. It was a mistake for me to step back from interviewing, and I'm going to start again slowly. And I love it. I love talking with people, and these conversations are not meant to be perfect. They are just meant to be conversations about the light, where I connect and I ask the questions I want. And if you want to tune in and hear them, then great. If you want to criticize the way I interview people, then please there's many other channels. Go somewhere else, because sometimes I'm going to be stunned and silent and listen to everything that someone says and not ask enough questions. And sometimes I'm going to be overjoyed to meet someone and connect and understand what they're going through and ask a lot of questions. I'm just being me. I'm not scripted. I am not, I don't have a team where I'm working with a variety of people. I'm just me talking to someone, me as a fellow experiencer talking to other experiencers. And that's what makes my channel unique. And so I will go back to interviewing some near-death experiencers. So to criticisms around why does my family not come forward and talk about my experience? Well, lots of reasons, but I'll put it this way. We have a relationship, and I'm very happy to have a relationship with my mom and with other people. And, there have been years when there hasn't been much of a relationship, but there's a lot of forgiveness and joy and sensitivity to the fact that it's probably better that neither one of us talk about our spiritual beliefs or our political beliefs, that we can have a relationship based around other things that we have in common, other things like being related and having pets and being interested in health and being interested in each other's journey just as a human being, just as a relative. Have family history, and there are things that I have done that I'm so glad that my mother forgives me for, and I'm so glad that I'm able to let go of the past and see her in the present now. But we're not going to talk. I'm not going to bring her forward, and she's not going to go like, oh my God, Trisha's experience was so great, because she has a belief system that is so different from mine. Her church convinced her a long time ago that even though I had to her, which is an out-of-body experience or a demonic experience, even though I saw these details, it doesn't mean that it's biblical. It doesn't mean in her mind that I had this great experience from God. Otherwise, I would have seen Jesus. In her opinion, I would have, had a different experience. So they don't deny that I had this out-of-body experience, but to them, it isn't important. It wasn't an experience that they can go, oh, this verifies my religion. So it's put in a category of demonic. And, probably a lot of things that I do are very scary to them, talking to the dead, or talking to angels. They probably assume that I'm talking to demons. I know that I'm not. I have enough spiritual strength and enough intellectual strength to know and to communicate to the spirits that I'm communicating with and understand what is going on. So when I give a reading, it is there for someone's highest good. It is there for their healing. And generally it's around love and how to heal things from the past, and that we will be connected again with our loved ones. Sometimes there's clarity around how someone died, and I find that very healing, especially when there's a mystery to it, or there's something unsolved, perhaps even at a investigation level. I find that fascinating when that comes through. So that is just part of what I do, and it is joyful to me. And it's okay to live in different paradigms. We're all evolving in different ways, and it's okay to love someone who thinks and believes and lives in a different way than you do. It's okay. Your lives can blend in some ways and they cannot blend in other ways. So, my family and we have a tentative relationship, but I'm grateful for it. And so I don't need to be attacked for it. I don't need to defend it. It is what it is. And everyone, I think, needs to realize that we all die. So eventually, that's where the forgiveness should come in. These near-death experiences are really reminders that our lives are fragile, and any of us can exit at any time. And the most important thing is, did you love those around you? Did you add more joy to this life? Even if someone has a totally different paradigm, sensitivity, experience, could you honor who they are? Could you respect who they are enough to give them that space to be who they are and be different from you, but love them anyway? I just want to say, if you feel lonely on your journey, you know that you're not alone, that there are plenty of us out here who have gone on this journey ahead of you. And I just want to offer support. And I want to say that you probably will be attacked. You probably will be misunderstood, but you'll also meet so many people who get it, who are excited for you, who feel a connection to you. And then maybe you'll meet people who develop crushes, or they think that you need to communicate with them more than you have time to communicate with them, or interest. So I do connect with most people who want to connect with me, but certainly there are emails that are too heavy, too much. I don't have the bandwidth for, and I'm a human being like anyone. I have to do self-care. So as you know, I'm a trauma survivor. And so if my cup isn't full, I can't give to you. I can't be empathetic. I have to have a full cup. And if someone is writing to me of great trauma and call me now or email me now, or I'm about to kill myself, like that's not, I wish I could respond to everyone, but I can't. And I'm not a suicide hotline, and I'm not able to. I mean, I might not even check certain messages for months because I'm doing other things, so please don't think that I have all the answers for you particularly. You have to do self-care in your world and find people in your vicinity and reach out to them. And if you are in that place, I have great compassion. And one of the things that you can do is say, I need help now, to everyone around you, neighbors, acquaintances, people at school. Get the help that you need. If you are suicidal, make yourself important, because you have to advocate for you. You can't look to someone else, a speaker who's been through similar things way across the country or world, to jump in and give you the right answers. I wish I could, but it can't many times. And so please take care of yourself. Please do self-care. Ultimately, I just want you to feel better on your journey, to feel less alone, and to know that you will connect with other sensitive souls. If you are a sensitive person, that you can make a difference by teaching other people how to connect, how to be more in that flow of light. So thank you for listening. If you made it all the way to the end of this rambling message, I am happy to answer any questions, and I'm going to start doing lives and start interviewing people. So send me any suggestions and I'll consider it, but I'll go where I'm guided. Thank you. May you be blessed.